Good afternoon, everybody. We are here at the Hudson Yards. It is the day before Thanksgiving here in Manhattan. We are going to be streaming for about 1 hour tonight. So I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating in the United States. And today we're going to be walking up to Central Park. Bowser says hi, Tom. What's up, Bowser? Soho guy is here. What's up, Soho? Hope you're well. Welcome, welcome, everybody. We will get started in just a minute. Hey, I see Brittany McMurdy. I see Fred T. See Buy the Book says hi, Tom. See Cool Boy. What's up, Cool Boy? Good to see you. Ken Kramer. George Lopez is in the house. Fred T. Good to see you. Buy the Book. Rob H. says hey. What's up, Tom? Good to see you again, Rob H. Happy Thanksgiving. Michelle Cunningham says hey, everyone. What's up, Michelle? Good to see you. Dante Rose says hey, Tom. Stay safe. Appreciate it, Dante. Right back at you. You stay safe as well. And I think I see Vinny Castellano, so we'll get started in 1 minute. Hey, Ren10 says Tom in the house. Hey, Walking Commuter's here. What's up, Walking Commuter? Says happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, my friend. Hope you have a very good one with your family. Good to see Walking Commuter in the house. He's a fellow streamer. Please check him out. Ken Kramer says semiconductors had a good day. AMD is up big. Indeed, they were. So we had a little bit of a rally on Wall Street today. Really, the only thing that we saw this week were very high beta tech names selling off, and that's mainly due to the rising rate environment. And as we have talked about ad nauseum on the stream, usually when interest rates rise, the tech earnings are discounted into the future, and they're now worth less today. So we saw a little bit of a sell-off this week on Wall Street, but a lot of good growth names are actually catching a bid into the close today. So that's good to see. Hey, Vinny Castellano says happy Thanksgiving to all. Thank you, Vinny. Jetstar is here. Michelle Cunningham says happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's a beautiful night in Manhattan. It's not as windy as it was yesterday. I don't know if you guys remember, yesterday was pretty windy on the stream. Good to see you, Jetstar. Sally says hi, Tom. Beautiful night. So we're right behind the Moynihan train station. Let's check out the Hudson Yards, and then we're going to walk all the way up to Central Park. Gibson says, I love those chairs. So these chairs right here. Sally says, hi, Tom. Beautiful night. Waiting for Thanksgiving tomorrow morning. Yeah, there's going to be a very big parade here in New York City. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Not sure if I'll be in the city for that tomorrow, but hopefully everybody enjoys it. Ren10 says Tom in the house. What's up, Ren10? Vinny Castellano says, Tom, hope you have a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. You too. You too, Vinny. Hope you're well. This is one of my new favorite buildings, and the security guards start to go crazy on me. But very beautiful here. And they still have the Citrovia up all the way from the summer. Gibson says, I wish I could be there. RL says, watch the balloons off Central Park. Yeah, so I was walking past that today, and I think that they were setting them up or blowing them up. I actually used to work on 83rd Street, so every year I had the privilege of watching them all be set up. RL, good to see you. Hey, the Austin Tennis says, hey, Tom, hope you're doing well. This is beautiful here. What's up, Austin Tennis? It is Thanksgiving tomorrow. I know the Canadian Thanksgiving, I believe, was in October. So the Americans have their shot at Thanksgiving. We're going to be celebrating that tomorrow. And the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will also be on, which is very interesting, very beautiful sight to see if anybody's interested in checking that out. It will be tomorrow. Joey says, hi, Tom. How was your day? Joey, my day was really good. My day was really good. Very, very good. I hope the likewise for you, Joey. We're going to keep it, we're going to sort of just enjoy the stream tonight since it's the day before a major holiday. But I wanted to touch briefly on some inflationary pressures, some inflationary talk. So we'll get into that a little bit on the stream. Yesterday, for those of you who missed the stream, we were doing a little bit of analysis on Monday.com. which is a software company that specializes in the no-code/low-code space. They're not profitable now. They're actually losing money on an EPS basis. However, their top-line revenue growth is extremely, extremely stable. RLS's Hubs had a great day higher. Yeah, HubSpot. So HubSpot is another CRM. HubSpot is a great company. So CRM is customer relationship management software. So they can compete with anything like a Zoho, which is not a publicly traded company, or Salesforce. Shop by Scott says, what's up, Tom? What's up, Scott? Hope you're well. Hope all is well down in Southern Florida. Scott is joining us from Miami, Sunny Isles Beach area. Grosimer 86 says, hi, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and to everyone in the chat as well. Hey, thank you so much, 86. Cosmo Scary says, hey, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Right back at you, Cosmo. Hopefully you had a good day today. Vren says, happy Thanksgiving, Tom. Vren, happy Thanksgiving to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your Wednesday night. Ice is here, says, hi, Tom. The Austin Tennis says, will you be attending the parade? I'm not sure. I really don't think so. I've never been to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I think maybe only once when I was young. I try to avoid all the crowds. Tomorrow in New York City is going to be packed. There's going to be so many people here because this is the first year. You know, obviously last year, did they have the Thanksgiving Day Parade last year? I forget. I think they did. I'm actually not sure. But everybody's back in the city. The city's coming back. Prince Charming says hi, Tom. What's up, Prince Charming? Hope everybody's well. We got a full house here already. Sally, I see you. Cosmo Scary. Cosmo, you doing anything interesting for Thanksgiving, or are you just going to sort of hang out at home? Danny says, happy Thanksgiving all. What's up, Danny? Good to see you. RLS is virtual last year. Ah, that's right. So I remember it was virtual. You know what? You know how I watched it last year? I was watching on, I think Verizon had something going on where they were doing like, you could see virtual balloons and stuff. But I think they're still doing that this year. But, you know, we'll see. We'll definitely have to see. Brooklyn's here. What's up, Brooklyn? Says hi, Tom. Good to see you, Brooklyn, as always. Hope you're well. George Lopez. What's up, George? Says, I wonder if they found the missing fried turkey. T says, shout out to Manju from Brooklyn. Cosmo Scary says, I'm at my parents' house. We're going to a Brazilian restaurant tomorrow. Very cool. Are you going in the city, Cosmo, or are you going somewhere in Queens? I think there's actually a very good Brazilian restaurant in Manhattan, right outside the Charles Schwab building. And I believe that is right across the street. It's right across the street from the Hilton Hotel, which is now open. They just opened it. So that's good news. Hey, South Beach Trader is here. South Beach Trader, hopefully Wall Street is treating you well. This is happy Thanksgiving, everybody. South Beach Trader is a fellow stock and equities trader down in South Beach, down in Miami. Shop by Scott says, all is well indeed. Cold here. Only got up to 72 degrees. Whew. Yeah, Scott, I'm definitely missing the weather. Let's just put it like that. I'm definitely missing the Miami weather. Hey, the Mighty Bull says, okay, Tom, you're on. Good evening. The Mighty Bull. Good to have you here, Mighty Bull. The Mighty Bull is always watching, listening, and thinking in the chat. Always good to have you. Hey, Kevin Buffalo is here. Says, hi, Tom. Just landed at JFK about an hour ago. Spending the weekend. Love New York City. Awesome, Kevin. Love to hear that, Kevin Buffalo. I'm glad you had a safe flight. So, Kevin, how were the airports? Were the airports packed? Because I was actually, obviously in Penn Station today, and the amount of people in Penn Station was ridiculous. It was crazy. Everybody waiting to get on the Amtrak train. It was so packed in there, in the New Moynihan train station. Hey, Diego's here. Says, how are you? What's up, Diego? Good to see you. The Aviators is nice. I hope you enjoy it there. What's up, Aviator? Whenever we walk towards the Hudson Yards, it always gets a little bit more windy. It's always windier by the water. So hopefully when we venture back into Midtown, the wind will die down a little bit. Hey, Penelope's here. What's up, Penelope? Says, hi, Tom. I feel you. Staying home for Thanksgiving Day. Very cool. Penelope is from Tennessee. Good to see you, Penelope. Hope your Thanksgiving goes very well. Sally says, beautiful night. Hey, and we got Ruby Falcone says, happy Thanksgiving Eve, Tom and everybody. What is going on, Ruby? Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. The Aviator says, Tom, you should have brought your board to New York. So it is in New York. I just didn't bring it these past couple days. The city is quite freezing, and it's I think it's going to get a little bit crazy tomorrow for the parade. There's a lot of tourists in the city now, which is good. I think that's an overall very good thing. So we're here at the Hudson Yards. We'll spend some time here, and then we'll walk up towards Central Park. The Mighty Bull says, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours, Tom, and everybody in the chat. Likewise, Mighty Bull, always good to have you here. I'm very thankful for you and all the moderators and everybody who's been joining the streams throughout this year. Demuthu says, hi. How far away from you from the One World Trade Center? We're very far away. So we are at the Hudson Yards, which is 34th Street and West End Avenue. And the World Trade Center is all the way downtown in Lower Manhattan, very close to Wall Street. Sunshine After Rain is here. What's up, Sunshine? Good to see you, Sunshine. Says, hi, Tom. How are you? Doing very well. So I was planning on not working today, but I was actually more busy than any other day this week. But it feels good to, sort of wind down now. So I think the majority of people obviously are off tomorrow. Stock market's over tomorrow. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some time to relax. Andrew Lee is here from Queens. What's up, Andrew? Santa Monica Rodriguez. What is up, Santa Monica Rodriguez? Tatiana M says, hi, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Blessings, Tatiana. Right back at you. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Penelope says, Tom, I'm cleaning out my freezer for Thanksgiving. Potluck here. Very cool. Awesome, Penelope. Santa Monica Rodriguez, good to see you. Don Omar says, great work, great stream, great city. Big thanks. What's up, Don Omar? Hope you're having a good one. So we are right outside the Vessel here. And I think this is a brand new hotel, the Equinox Hotel, I think it's called. So right to the right is the Equinox Hotel. And I think it can be as expensive as $1,000 or more per night in this building right here. Shop by Scott says, where have you eaten good since you've been back? So I've been eating at my regular Thai food restaurant, which is Sen Thai Comfort Food on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And also some very good noodle places that are right near the Bank of China. One of the best in the city is very close to the Bank of China. And then I think I may go to Becco this week. Not sure though. R.Y. Davis says, happy Thanksgiving, Tom, and everyone here. Thank you, R.Y. Davis. Hope you have a good one. The Aviator says, luckily for me, we have Thanksgiving break for 7 days. I thought it was weird that we are coming back to school on Tuesday and not on Monday. Well, I mean, hey, as long as you can get off is the better, man. Very cool. Bonzo Lol says, hello from San Diego, California. What's up, Bonzo Lol? Long time no see. Ken Kramer says Prince Street Pizza. No, I'm gonna get tapped. Prince Street Pizza is nice. Prince Street Pizza is one of the best places, I think, in New York. Not for a traditional regular slice, but for a spicy pepperoni slice, which is very, very good. Eric Texas says, all the big developments like this hotel, how long does it take before to see a profit? I'm not sure, but as they always like to say, if you build it, they will come. And it seems like Hudson Yards is booming, which is a good thing. I think these buildings look really nice. And this big building right here is called The Shed. at Hudson Yards. Bonzo Lowell says the hot air balloon theme at Hudson Yards is cool. I concur. Roy S says, hi Tom and all mods. Seems you have another great weather there, although it might be a bit cold. It's actually not bad, Roy S. Yesterday was a lot worse. Very windy yesterday, Roy. The Aviator says, is Chinatown in downtown or midtown? Chinatown is in downtown. You could consider it Lower Manhattan if you'd like. It's very, very close to the Manhattan Bridge, Chinatown. Hey, Miss Mo is here. What's up, Miss Mo? Says, hi, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and thank you for the newsletter. Yeah, Miss Mo, no problem. If anybody else is interested in receiving that newsletter, it is a free financial newsletter that I write every single week. It is called the Behind the Street newsletter. If you type !news, N-E-W-S, in the chat, the Nightbot will drop a link where you could sign up for the newsletter. And I'll give you guys one more look at the vessel here. Hey, Rosie's here. Says, hola, saludos. Hola, Rosie. Ken Kramer, I have not gone to Prince Street Pizza just yet, but that's on the bucket list to do when I'm here, for sure. Definitely looking forward to doing that. Eric Texas says, do you know what was there before this hotel at this location? So this all used to be quite literally a train yard. This was the Long Island Railroad West End Yards. And, you know, just some... So actually right here, a couple blocks over, used to be one of the only drive-through McDonald's in the city. When I used to go to college at John Jay College, I would walk to that McDonald's and then go to class. Little fun fact, but they have since torn it down to make the Hudson Yards. The Mighty Bull says, watching and listening. Flex Stream says, John's on Bleecker Street is the best pizza in New York City. Yeah, John's at Bleecker is very good. Definitely agree with that. Maybe Art says, good grief. Nobody but mods. What's up, Maybe Art? Good to see you. Mr. Wobble says, don't jump. Faith says, hello, Tom. Nice view of the vessel. What's up, Faith? Hope you're well. Good to see you. And happy Thanksgiving to you, Faith. Diana Lee is here. Says, hi, Tom. What's up, Diana? Shot by Scott says, the vessel is life. I keep trying to replicate it in AutoCAD and have not yet succeeded. It's a marvel. Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, so I actually took a lot of those AutoCAD classes when I was in high school. So AutoCAD is a pretty cool, very interesting program for designers and things like that. And I actually didn't know this, but SAP actually moved into this building, this office building at the Hudson Yards. I never knew that. So SAP is here as well as L'Oreal. Sakura says, yo, what's good, Tom? What's up, Sakura? Good to see you. We are here at the Hudson Yards once again. Marty Lewis says, happy Thanksgiving, Tom. I walked to 5th Avenue tonight around 6 p.m. So many tourists, even more on 6th and 5th. I will let them have it over the next few weeks. Yeah, Marty Lewis, very good observation. Things are coming back in New York, which is very, very positive, very good. That's what we love to see. People coming back, the city's getting back on its feet. Diana Lee says, I'm okay, thanks. How are you, Tom? Doing very well. Quite a busy day at work today, but we're getting it done. Not bad. So one of the things I wanted to touch on briefly, everybody, is the talk about inflation talk. There's been a lot of talk about inflation. The Federal Reserve has pretty much solidified themselves as an inflation creation machine. And one of the ways they do that is by expanding their balance sheet, by buying U.S. Treasuries as well as mortgage-backed securities. So a lot of investors like to think to themselves, well, how can I sort of hedge for inflation? Because if we look at hold on, I'm just getting a text message here. If you look at a lot of the traditional inflation hedges like gold, if you actually look at the data, gold actually does not act as an inflation hedge at all. During the periods of highest inflation, like in the 70s and 80s, gold returns were actually negative. So there's this notion going around that it's actually better to buy equities in times of inflation, but there's specific equities that should be bought. So I was reading an analyst report from Goldman Sachs today, and they say the equities that will hold up best, or the companies that will hold up best during times of inflation, are the companies that have very, very heavy pricing power, right? So you can think of the big brand names like a Nike, like a Starbucks or something like that, where if the company says to consumers or to their customers, hey, we have to raise our prices, the consumers will take on that cost and will not complain. You know, if you go to the store and you want to buy Nike shoes for basketball season or something like that, and Nike increases the price, well, the customers are probably going to be a little bit disgruntled, but at the end of the day, they're willing to pay a premium for that premium brand. So in times of high inflation, it is best to look at companies that have extremely high pricing power. Because what happens is the raw materials that go into making these products and services are going up. That could be across the retail sector or the technology sector. So what happens is if the price of these goods and services or the raw materials are going up, the companies, in order to maintain their profit margins, will then pass on those cost increases to the consumer. So if a product that originally was costing, let's say $100, now is $120, will the consumer be able to absorb that cost, assuming the brand name is strong enough? So always look for those very, very strong brand names. Hey, I see British Gray here. It says, good Wednesday evening, Tom. I am cooking. Happy Thanksgiving. With love, always, Miss British Gray from Tampa, Florida. Very good to see you. We are here on the High Line, right near the Hudson Yards. Penelope says, it's a brand that will stand. Absolutely. Just woke up here in India and started watching the stream now, enjoying it to the fullest. Welcome to all of our Indian viewers. Very cool. Hope you're well. Hey, and I see Jimmy Anderson is in the chat. Jimmy Anderson says, cheers, my dude, and happy early Thanksgiving to you and everyone here. Right back at you, Jimmy Anderson. And Jimmy Anderson's birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday, my friend. As we overlook, I believe this is 10th Avenue. So this is the brand new Hudson Yards, and then you'll have the Whole Foods on the right. Diana Lee says, happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends. Appreciate that, Diana Lee. Hassan Terrell is here. What's up, Hassan? Good to see you. Jonathan Richards is here. Says, hi, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving. Jonathan Richards, good to see you. Penelope says, love to see peeps out looking at the balloon inflation. No pun intended. Yeah, so if you guys want to see exactly where all of the festive Thanksgiving Day parade balloons are blown up, they're blown up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Austin Tennis says, how do we get up here? Is Tom on top of scaffolding? Yeah, so this is the High Line at the Hudson Yards, and it snakes down all the way to, I think in the teens, I think like 15th to 14th Street, if I'm not mistaken. Sunshine after rain says, beautiful view. Jimmy Anderson says, what are your plans for the holiday tomorrow? I'm just going to hang out with my family on Long Island, have a dinner. What about you? It's going to be a quiet day. I kind of want to have a quiet holiday. It's been a very, very hectic week for me. The Austin Tennis says, oh, I love the High Line. Very cool. I love the view here because you can see down to the traffic. Faith says, are you going to stream the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I want to come to the city that early. I'm not sure, so we're going to keep it as tentative. The Austin Tennis says, Tom, do you have any siblings? I do. I have 2 siblings. Felipe says, hello, Tom. Greetings from Brazil. Good to see you back in New York. Did you read the book, High Risk from Low Risk? Did you read the book, High Returns from Low Risk? I did not read that book. Let me take a screenshot of it, though, because I would definitely love to check that out. Mrs. Dash 101 says, hi, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving. Hello, everyone, and good evening. What's up, Mrs. Dash? Good to see you. Thiago says, hi, Tom. Greetings from Brazil. What's up, Thiago? So let's turn around and head back to the Hudson Yards, and then we will make our way back to Midtown. I see Miguel Gonzalez here. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you. So we are here at Manhattan's High Line, but we're going to be walking back to the Hudson Yards, and then we are going to go to Rockefeller Center, Radio City Music Hall, and end the stream at Central Park. Yeah, Shop by Scott says, this vantage point reminds me of the Brickell a little bit. It sort of does too. So the Brickell is a place in Miami, which is, they have like an indoor-outdoor mall, which is very cool, which we were streaming from the other day. So we always talk about good coffee places in the city. This is actually a very good place right here called Think Coffee. I used to go to the one near NYU. So if anybody's in New York City and needs a good coffee shop, this place is solid place. It's called Think Coffee. It's pretty chilly out. It's very windy here on Manhattan's west side, but probably once we make our way into Midtown, the wind should die down a little bit. But Faith, good to see you. So this building here, everybody, is actually retractable. It's called The Shop. And it's quite literally on wheels. And this thing wheels all the way back and all the way forth like that. Pretty cool place. RL says, ever go to 42nd Street for New Year's? So the only time I've actually ever been in Times Square for New Year's was when I was working in Times Square on New Year's Eve at Express. I think I was a teenager at the time, like 18, 19 years old. And I was working at the Express clothing store in Times Square, and I was doing all the restocking overnight. I used to work a ridiculously agonizing shift at that retail store from 9 o'clock at night to 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's the only time I've ever been to Times Square on New Year's Eve. The Austin Tennis says, are you permitted to ride your board on the High Line? I don't think there's any sort of bikes, rollerblading, skateboarding, nothing. I don't think anything's permitted on the High Line. Hey, Chaudry's here, says, hi, Tom. Good to see you back in New York. Happy Thanksgiving. Right back at you, Chaudry. Good to have you here on the stream. Obama says, band of week, brand new Heelys. Diana Lee says, lighting is cool. Patrick Schultz is here, says, hi, Tom. What's up, Patrick? Good to see you. Good to have you here. We are at the Hudson Yards overlooking the Vessel. Very beautiful night out. The city was absolutely packed today. It was good to see the city back sort of like the way it used to be. When I used to work in Midtown Manhattan, before the pandemic, the city was always electric during my lunch breaks. And today was the only day, I'll say that again, today was the only day where I felt like the city was back 100% to where it used to be. The city was absolutely on fire today. So very, very good to see that. Penelope says, oh my God, I used to work at Express in the 80s. I was a top salesperson. Wow. Yeah, Penelope, I worked at Express, but I was doing like the restocking. I was like a stock guy there. Eric Texas says, any thoughts on why small caps have been getting beat up? Yeah, so Eric, usually when the market enters a little bit of a risk-off environment, especially when interest rates are going up. So if you look at the yield on the 10-year, it's been nudging up to, I think, about 1.75 10%. Usually when that 10-year gets a little bit of a bid, the yield in the 10-year, you'll have a lot of these high beta growth stocks actually start to sell off. And if you look at the small caps, so a lot of these Russell stocks, they're actually all pre-earnings. So in times of very, very low interest rates, when Wall Street analysts discount these earnings into the future, when you have a low interest rate environment, those earnings are worth more in the future. But when the interest rate is high, now in the future, if that makes sense. So usually when you have a bid in that 10-year treasury yield, there's a little bit of a recalculation of those earnings. And you also got to understand, a lot of these tech companies, high growth, high beta tech companies, they're projected to earn the majority of their money in the future, 5 to 6 years from now. Hey, Valentina says, hi, Tom. How you doing? What's up, Valentina? Good to have you. Diana Lee says, pesky wind here, indeed. Oh, Penelope says, you were a salesperson. Very cool. Mr. Wobble says, where can I buy crypto anonymously? Well, I believe there are some peer-to-peer exchanges. I believe one exchange is called Pancake Swap, which is essentially, there's no intermediary. It's just peer-to-peer trading transaction, which they don't require any sort of ID verification, I don't believe. I wouldn't recommend that. Anytime I buy Bitcoin, I use Gemini as my broker, in my opinion. Jason Wyatt says, Jason Wyatt, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. This is Thanksgiving Eve, but I appreciate it, my friend. I hope you have a good one with you and your family. We're gonna do a quick lap around the vessel at the Hudson Yards. And if you look to your right on the screen, this is the Equinox Hotel. So the Equinox Gym, they actually branded themselves and actually have a hotel now. And I think the prices here are egregious, absolutely ridiculous. Some rooms in there are like $1,000 a night, which is crazy to think about, but they are nonetheless. Merck says, do you think they would reopen the vessel or close it for good? I think that's hard to say. I hope they reopen it, but there definitely needs to be better safety precautions, because unfortunately, people have been unfortunately taking their own lives on the vessel, which is not good. So I think there needs to be more security netting or something like that in order for them to reopen it, in my opinion. Shot by Scott says they probably don't have beds in the Equinox Hotel, only weights. Hilarious. So here there's actually a pool on the roof. So I believe one side of this building is residences. So people actually own condominiums here. But the other side, I think, is the hotel. I like these trees, how they have them all lit up. So they're lit up like this all year round here at the Hudson Yards. Faith says, I see sunshine in her penthouse, Tom. I see it too. So Sunshine After Rain and Sunshine New York both have really nice penthouses in this tower. Charles D says, I heard they are going to tear down the vessel. I'm not sure if they're going to tear down the vessel, but it is definitely closed. I think it's going to be a big, I mean, I don't know. I don't want them to tear it down, but a lot of people do have the opinion that it should be teared down, which I totally understand. If it were me, I would just probably put safety precautions in place instead, in my opinion. They definitely decorated this place beautiful. Wow. The view from here is amazing of the vessel. Penelope says twinkle twinkle every night. Bonzo Lol says they should flip the vessel upside down. Yeah, shot by Scott, that is true. Says nobody's tearing down the Golden Gate Bridge. Very true. Rob H says they had the first floor of the vessel open. I think Boogie Bob was there today. So I'm not sure. It looks closed to me, and there's signs that say it is closed, but I could be wrong. Oh, the Golden Gate Bridge has safety nets? I didn't know that. Well, they should. I mean, you know, anytime that there's a major structure or monument that is known for people to, you know, unfortunately do terrible things to themselves, we should definitely take the safety precautions to prevent that at all costs. Alex is futuristic. Lisa says, why do they call it Hudson Yards? What does the yards mean? So this used to be old train yards. So I'll show you guys. If you actually look out here, this is called the West Side Yards. So if you've ever taken the Long Island Railroad, these are all Long Island Railroad trains. I'll try to cover up the lights so you can see. This is called the West Side Yards. So all of the LIRR, or Long Island Railroad train cars, come here to be cleaned and maintenanced. So the train comes all the way here, all the way underground here, right like this, and all the way here into Penn Station, which is behind this big building. So all of this area used to be big train yards back in the day, and now they made it a big real estate development, and I think it looks pretty good. Bonzo Law says yards for train yards. Absolutely. Obama says, didn't Nancy buy a new $25 million place in Florida? Yeah. So Nancy Pelosi did just close on a $25 million home in Florida, which is kind of crazy because she comes out and says that Florida is going to be underwater in a couple of years. So we'll see. So I'm not sure why she would buy a house if she thinks it's going to be underwater. So this building that we're looking at now is actually called The Shed, and it actually retracts all the way into this other building. Obama says Trump owned it at one time. Did he really? That's crazy. Irene says, hi, I live in Brazil. Can someone explain to me what is this vessel? So it's essentially just a structure. That's really all it is. It's an architectural design structure here on 34th Street, or near 34th Street in Manhattan, on Manhattan's west side of Manhattan. Merck says, I love the color of the vessel, bronze and shiny. Yeah, it's great. Very cool here. So maybe we could see it in more detail, but this building right here, it retracts all the way to here. So it actually moves. It's like on a sliding scale. It's on wheels. It's pretty cool. So for those of you who are just joining, we're going to have a very brief topic tonight. We're just going to take it easy. But we were talking about inflationary pressures and ways to preserve your purchasing power when you have times of very, very high inflation. One of the things I wanted to point out is the Turkish lira is having some of its largest intraday falls ever since, I think, 2019. And that is an example of how all fiat currencies throughout the beginning of time have all gone to zero. It's just a matter of when, not if. So all fiat currencies always go to zero over time. Right now, the US dollar has relative strength. So the dollar has actually been gaining strength in comparison to global currencies out there. So the Turkish lira is quite literally going to zero. And I was actually reading something on Bloomberg yesterday about how a loaf of bread has gone up 80% in 2 weeks. So everybody is frantically trying to get their money out of Turkey, because once you earn money in lira, it essentially just inflates away. So I think it's going to be a growing concern, not just in Turkey, where you have the Turkish lira, but all over the world where you have fiat currencies, where you have central banks power of individuals. So this is why you must own assets that then in turn produce some sort of income, so you could stay ahead of that inflationary curve. It's called your hurdle rate. So that's why you're seeing a lot of people purchasing rental real estate. A lot of the big private equity venture capital firms are actually going into very multifamily apartment buildings, things like that. But there's actually been a study that came out that said the S&P 500 has actually been historically a very good inflationary hedge, because you're owning companies that have very good pricing power. That have very good pricing power, that produce earnings, that produce free cash flow. So you never want to be 100% in cash, but at least here in America, we have the privilege of being the world's reserve currency, the US dollar, the petrodollar. But gold, contrary to what a lot of people believe and think, is actually not a very good inflation hedge. There's studies that are done, and during times of high inflation, gold has actually been negative. And if you want to buy a TIPS, which is an inflation-protected bond, those sometimes don't even really help you with the hurdle rate. Penelope says, that is interesting. The Turkish lira is so cheap. Yeah, the lira is essentially falling off a cliff. Alexander says, people talk smack about fiat currencies, but if currencies were tied to gold or any other asset standard, wouldn't you run the risk of a deflationary spiral during every economic shock? So I don't think so. I think that it's much more healthy for a self-regulating economy than to have a central banking where in my opinion, all central banking does is create wealth disparity or distortions in wealth inequality. Because if you have the Federal Reserve and central banks, not only just the Federal Reserve, but central banks around the world. But I think you do make a good point. But if you have central banks around the world that every time the market has a little bit of a hiccup or the economy falters a little bit, just goes on a binge of buying treasuries and mortgage-backed securities to increase the money supply, the only thing that does is increase the value of assets. And the people who own these assets are not the middle class and the lower class. These people are the 1%ers, the CEOs of companies. The majority of assets, which can include anything from real estate to US equities or stocks, 90% of the equities are owned by 5% of the holders in the country, which is a crazy statistic, but it is true. Cosmos Scary says, is it a good time to visit Turkey? I don't really know anything about Turkey, but I'm sure it's a beautiful place. Hey, Out and About is here, says good evening. Solo401 says US dollar is both legal tender and fiat. What's up, Solo401? Murky says gold has doubled in value over 41 years, says Murky. What's up, Murky? Hope you're well. Good to see you and happy Thanksgiving. Chaudry says, Tom, what's happening with inflation? Is it going to get worse? So what I think is that we live in a very technology-driven world now, especially here in the United States. So we've actually been experiencing throughout our lifetime extreme deflation, especially in my lifetime, deflation. So if you think about, for example, just the amount of deflationary pressure that the iPhone or cell phones alone have had. Right? Think about all of the products and services that are now condensed into one small specific product. You have entire encyclopedias and every single book in the world on your iPhone. right? Every single piece of information has been pretty much condensed onto one specific device. Every movie and every, MP3 file in the world, music, has been condensed onto one single device. So instead of having to buy a camera, instead of having to buy, a DVD player or a TV, everything's been consolidated into one single easy-to-use device. And that's just one example, right? So I think technology in itself is inherently deflationary. But when you have technology being deflationary on top of central banking, starting with quantitative easing since the 2008 financial crisis, the inflation shows up in assets. So if you look at, real estate in Miami Beach or real estate in New York City or in the Hamptons, those are up 100% this year. That in itself is inflationary. If you want to buy a house, it's going to be increasingly more difficult because there's all of this money now chasing too few goods. Hey, Alexander says, while what you said is true, I think wealth inequality is more an issue of concentration of assets rather than monetary policy. People either have a piece of the system or they don't, says Alexander Ballard. Yeah, I think you make a good point. I think there's a lot of ways to look at it, and I think you actually make a very rationalized point there. So I guess it's the concentration of assets. But the thing is, one of the ways the assets are concentrated to the top 1%, and that's why, to your point, a lot of people think, oh, Elon Musk is this big bad billionaire. Jeff Bezos is this big bad billionaire. He has, $40 billion or whatever it is, right? A lot of people don't understand the majority of their net worth is actually tied up in their stock because they own these companies. It's not like they have multi-billions of dollars sloshing around in their bank accounts, right? So when we talk about billionaires and the wealth getting and the rich getting richer, it's because they own these assets, right? If I start a company and my tech company grows to $1 trillion market cap, and I retain 15% of that company, I'm going to be a very wealthy person. So I think you make a good point. Hey, Daryl's here. So good evening from Chicago, Illinois. I really, really want to visit Chicago. My brother used to work at a big biomedical company in Chicago, and I never got the time to visit him. And that's the one thing I regret most. Too much criminal here, ... New York, says Epifanio. Alexander says, also, what you said about tech being deflationary is true. I wonder once automation takes off if we're going to start seeing free fall in consumer prices. Yeah, so that's actually something we talked about on our last stream. And that's very interesting that you bring that up because there was an article that came out in the Wall Street Journal about 2 weeks ago. And one of the statistics that came out was that, I guess I'll preface this just with a quick backstory for everybody. Right now, there's a global, let's just take it to the United States first. There is a worker shortage. There is a massive shortage of workers, right? So if you think about truck drivers, factory workers, in the consumer industry, in the hotel industry, there's actually a shortage of workers. And one of the reasons for that is because they are demanding higher wages. So they're going on strike. We've seen this with John Deere and other companies. So they're going on strike. But what I said is, a lot of these companies, yes, even though they're going to increase wages over time, they're always going to have a plan B. And their plan B, the board of directors of John Deere are going to be like, look, our factory workers are demanding a raise. So we're going to start trying to automate those jobs away. So why should I pay a factory worker $75 an hour when I can go invest $40 billion in R&D, research and development, while writing that off over the course of 10 years and just buy robots to do all the manufacturing. So what I think we're going to see is production skyrocket at many of these 3PL companies, logistics, manufacturing companies. You're going to see production skyrocket because robots don't need to take a break. You don't need to pay for health insurance for robots. So a lot of the manufacturing sector is going to be automated away as a hedge to wage inflation. Now, a lot of people may think that's terrible and that's going to be bad, but what we've seen throughout history is that whenever you have an industry being disrupted and that essentially they're losing jobs, 2 or 3 jobs are created for every job that's lost. You know, there's going to be jobs being created that we don't even have any thought about right now. So I think over time, everything will work itself out, but it's going to take time and there's going to be a lot of disruption. Daryl says, Tom, that's what happened to the USA steel industry in the past. Absolutely, Daryl. So Alcoa had a big plant or a big factory, I believe in Arizona. And now that's a Bitcoin mining factory. It's a little crazy. Estelle says, hello, Tom. How are you enjoying the lovely walk? What's up, Estelle? Good to see you. Out and About says, these companies are the cause to destroying the environment, says Out and About. Tom says, manufacturing left the Rust Belt 25 years ago. The robots will be in Mexico, not Detroit, says Tom. Shot by Scott says, I've come to correlate the beautiful Empire State Building with the tragic conclusion of the stream. So funny. Aiden says, on the eve of Thanksgiving, I wish you all a very good one. Thank you, Aiden. Appreciate it. James Brumley says, I think recruiters need to be less picky and choosy with the candidates, says James. Jonathan C's here says, hello, Tom. Alexander says, what brought you back to New York? Alexander, it is Thanksgiving. So I'm here to have dinner with my family. I'm just trying to see if I missed any comments. Alexander says, agreed on the wealth inequality convo. This is why wealth distribution never works. Agreed 100%. Wealth follows means of production. More people need to own business to break the cycle, says Alexander. James Brumley, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Obama says, I remember I could get a phone for my house for $15. iPhone is $1,000 plus. Yeah, but Obama, I mean, think about all the things that you could do on your iPhone, right? I could take a college class on my iPhone. I could literally go to YouTube right now and watch, some lectures from MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I have access to some of the smartest people in the world, all from a cell phone. We couldn't do that in the 70s or 80s. Hey, Robert says, how many people live in New York City? Millions of people. Omar K says, Tom, are you familiar with using a self-directed IRA to hold real estate? If so, can you suggest sources for learning more? I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with... I would actually like to learn more about that. Well, let me just take a screenshot of that. Hold on. Self-directed IRA for real estate. I've never heard about doing that, honestly. Hey, Kevin Sunderland. Thank you so much, my friend. Kevin Sunderland with the $20 super chat. Thank you, Kevin. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving with you and your family. Always a pleasure and a joy to have you on the stream, Kevin Sunderland. Really do appreciate it. Hey, Zap Allen says, hi, Tom. I'm on my iPhone right now. Oh, Zap Allen, did you ever wind up getting your new one? I thought you said with the chip shortage, it was extremely difficult to get it. I thought that's what you said. So I was on Apple's earnings call 2 weeks ago when they reported earnings, and Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, said the attributed to $6 billion in revenue loss for the company. And I believe it because I actually ordered my new computer from Apple and it took 3 months to get it. Very crazy. Kevin Sunderland says, happy Thanksgiving. Interesting how PagerDuty caught a bid today. Hey, PagerDuty is a pretty good company. I have a friend who works there. The ticker symbol is PD, PagerDuty. Hey, Charlie Richardson is here, says, you were so right, Tom. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. Robert is here, says, is New York City the biggest city in the United States. I'm not sure about that, actually. Alexander says, just came back from seeing One Vanderbilt Observatory. It's pretty cool. Have you been? Oh, dude, I got to check that out. So I have not been, but everybody's been hammering me to go there. I really do want to check it out. I have not been there. Hey, Alexander says, thanks for the stream. Glad you came back to New York. Hey, Alexander, I appreciate the $5 super chat. I appreciate you being here, Alexander, and thank you for the great conversation. So for anybody that doesn't know, to Alexander's point, my main residence is in Miami, Florida. I bought a house in Miami, Florida. However, I will be back and forth between New York City and Miami. I should be in New York City about 1 week out of every month, more or less depending on the needs and availability of my clients. Hey, Charlie Whiskey's here, says happy Thanksgiving. What's up, Charlie Whiskey? Marcat says greetings from Argentina. How is everybody from Argentina? Sal says iPhone needs multitasking like Samsung. Robert says, I have never been to New York City. Robert, you got to come down. Tatiana's here, says, hey, happy Thanksgiving from Brazil. Thank you to all of our Brazilian viewers. Tatiana, I appreciate you very, very much. But that comment about the self-directed IRA for real estate was very intriguing to me. I want to make sure I get a screenshot of that. RJ says, hey, it's Madison Square Garden, home of the greatest job I ever had. Yes, that is right. RJ used to work at the Madison Square Garden. Robert says, does it get cold in New York City? It gets freezing in New York City. Freezing, freezing. Yeah, self-directed IRA to hold real estate. I've never heard of that. I don't know how that would work. Marcat says, Tom, do you speak Spanish un poco? Hola, me llamo Tomas. You too? Hey, Charlie Richardson says, happy to catch a live stream on my birthday. Charlie, happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday to our pal Charlie Richardson. Always good to see you. Joe C is here. What's up, Joe C? Pat says, hey, Tom, happy Thanksgiving. I'm definitely coming back. Yeah, so Pat Waters actually lives in Miami. Or lives in Florida. And I believe he's a lifelong New Yorker that now wants to come back. Pat, what I believe, I think New York City and Miami is the best of both worlds. Because when it's freezing in New York, we can kind of duck out and go to Miami. Omar K says the IRS permits retirement accounts such as an IRA to invest in real estate. I am exploring this option and wondered if you were familiar. Keep us posted on what you learn. I'll do the same. So do they allow you to invest into a real estate versus a REIT via a REIT? So a REIT is a real estate investment trust, or are you talking about they actually will let you buy physical property in the IRA? I'm not sure how that works. But I'm assuming what it means is you can buy it via some sort of REIT or real estate investment trust. But I'm going to definitely do my research on that because that's very intriguing to me as I start to accumulate properties. Diana Lee says, Tom, wherever you are, enjoy. Thank you, Diana Lee. Appreciate it. Rachel Hawkins says, no snow. Thank God. Robert Castro says, Charlie from EarthCam. What's up? What's up, Charlie from EarthCam? Robert Rivas says, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Pat Waters says, yes, sir, I'm ready to come back. We'll come back anytime, Pat. We'll be here waiting for you. Hey, a fellow Tom says, hello, Tom, from another Tom. I am originally from Long Island, New York, now living in Vermont. I was where you are now a few weeks ago. Hey, Tom, I'm originally from Long Island, New York, too. Very cool. So 2 Toms from Long Island. What town are you from on Long Island? I'm from Massapequa. Tom says, thanks for the stream. No problem, Tom. Omar K says, actual physical property with the IRA. I got to check that out. That's intriguing. Messy Craig says, it's cold, right? It's actually not that bad tonight. And I think the main reason why it's not bad tonight is because it is not windy. Yesterday, we were getting hammered with the wind. Really, really crazy with the wind. Lost in the Curve says, are you familiar with Ben Mala? the real estate guy in Florida. He has a YouTube channel. I am not familiar, but I will check it out. I will definitely put that on the action items list to check it out. So this is always one of the best views of the Empire State Building right here. Toshi says, how have commodity price been changed in Manhattan over the years? Which commodity are you talking about? Tom says, cool, born and raised in Smithtown. Hey, that's out. Smithtown is, yeah, I know Smithtown. Very cool. Very cool. Elizabeth says, hi, Tom, and happy Thanksgiving. Hey, Elizabeth, right back at you. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Jack says, happy Thanksgiving from New Zealand. Welcome to all of our New Zealand viewers. Shop by Scott says, two Toms from Long Island. Hilarious. Gene says, Wall Street Scaperoad Tom, hope your Thanksgiving is fun. Save a Wall Street growth wishbone for us. I will. What's up, Gene? Joey says, you can hold real estate in your IRA, but you'll need a self-directed to do so. Any real estate property you buy must be strictly for investment purposes. You and your family can't use it. Got it. So maybe I'll do that down the road, because the place I just bought now, I'm renting out one side of the unit, renting out one side of the house, but living in the other. So maybe I wouldn't be able to do that. But they do allow me to homestead, though, in Florida, so I do get the tax deduction. Hey, Michelle McGraw says, hey, Tom, I made it. Sorry, I've been making pumpkin pies tonight. What's up, Michelle? Happy Thanksgiving to our great moderator, Michelle McGraw. Always a pleasure to have you here. That's one of the things I'm very thankful for on this Thanksgiving is our great moderators and all of the viewers. Thank you to everybody who's been watching the streams. Appreciate everybody who's been joining over the past year. Elizabeth says, are you going to the parade tomorrow, Tom? Maybe. I'm keeping that as tentative as of now. Anonymous dude, what's up, Anonymous? Says, happy Thanksgiving, Tom. Toshi says, like, renting, foods, transportation. Yeah, so Toshi, it's actually been going up a lot. So rent in Manhattan has essentially recovered 100%. What is this guy doing? Have recovered 100% since the start of the pandemic. So New York City is a very expensive place to live. Extremely, extremely expensive. All right, so let's head back into Midtown. RK9 says Big Man store was across the street, or Bagman store was across the street, says RK. What's up, RK? Pedro says, hey, watching you from Soho, good stream. Pedro from Soho, what is going on? Love Soho. In the summer, we always used to skateboard around Soho all the time. Great place. Great place. Everybody, check who it is. It is BB, the one and only. Says, thank you for the live streams. Beautiful night. What's up, BB? Always a pleasure to have you here. 432 Park, I need a unit. Yeah, so 432 Park is that massive apartment building on Park Avenue. However, there's going to be a huge class action lawsuit against the real estate developers of 432 Park. The majority of the units are horrible. They were built really, really poorly. And there's articles on online about it. So I think they did a great job of this One Penn Plaza. I actually had an interview here when I was a teenager at a company. I didn't get the job. It was for an internship. It was for a sales internship that I didn't get. Pat says, Tom, is it cheaper to buy in the city than rent? Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what your income is. I mean, I would say for the majority of people, probably it's cheaper to rent. Because you got to understand the property taxes in New York are insane. I would never buy, that's why I don't think I'll ever buy property in New York, unfortunately, is because the property taxes are insane. Christian says, happy Thanksgiving, Wall Street, Scapero, and crew. Stay blessed, folks, out here. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate it. Marcat. Daria Shepard is visiting New York in 2 weeks. Can't wait. Daria, awesome. I think you're going to have a great time. So welcome, Daria, to the stream. And welcome to New York. We're happy and very glad that you're coming. So right up here, we are going to pass the long. This is where I used to, well, this is where I go home every day, right here. But we are going to walk past it, and we are going to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, where they're going to end the parade. So if anybody watches the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on the news tomorrow morning, this is where they do the majority of the filming. So we'll be able to see that here.
Over here, in front of 7-Eleven.
48 is in the chat. What's up, 48 from New Zealand? I hope everybody that is a viewer from New Zealand is doing very well. So this is the Long Island Railroad entrance. The MTA's Long Island Railroad. This is the main 34th Street Penn Station. You can get the 1, 2, and 3 trains on this side, but you can also get the A and E trains on the other side. And if you go inside, you can get the Long Island Railroad, New Jersey Transit, and much more. Shop by Scott says you're working on transportation devices from Sunny Isles Beach, Florida to East Village. Very cool. So we'll see if we can walk down here. So this is the Macy's, the major store Macy's right here. 48 says, how many days a year do you have Thanksgiving? It's only 1 day a year in November. Marjan says, anybody remember Gyro 2 with the sweet sauce? I don't remember that. Penelope says, when are you breaking your board out again? After Thanksgiving. I'll probably do one stream on the skateboard in New York City this week. Hey, Daryl says, Action Kid in New York City walking show, and others will be around here tomorrow as well. Very cool. I'll be sure to check that out. Gene says, Wall Street Skate Pro, I wanted to make you laugh, but now I just realized wishbones are for chickens. Are they really? No, I think they're for turkeys as well. If I'm not mistaken. I think they're for turkeys as well. So this is West 34th Street and 7th Avenue. West 34th Street and 7th. Hey, and I see Ibrahim is on. What's up, Ibrahim? What happened? Oh, I think her dog was running away. That's not good. Nice grab. That guy had a good grab. Good snag. If you're going to walk your dog in the city, you got to hold on to him. Yes, Scott, so I Long Island Railroad back and forth to the city, absolutely. Your local cuisine fanatics is what happened. What's up, local cuisine? Lisa's is on news a lot today. They are talking about cyber terrorism threat. Yeah, so we've been talking about that on the streams, actually, and I think that the majority of the wars that are going to be fought in the future will not be violent. They will be all cyber wars. Marjan says, Tom, you should go to the parade for a little bit tomorrow. Maybe I will. We'll see. Karina Thompson. What's up, Karina Thompson? Good to see you. Andrew Calhoun. Andrew Calhoun is our moderator from the great country of Australia. Says, happy Thanksgiving. I remember as a child, I thought this day was your Christmas day. because we always had turkey and chicken for our Christmas day. What's up, Andrew? Good to see you. Andrew Calhoun is a fellow tech worker. War Walker, what's up, War Walker? Good to see you. Pedro says, I went to Vanderbilt One Summit yesterday and loved it. I got to get there. A lot of people have been telling me to go there. Nicholas Persad says, beautiful cold night. What's up, Nicholas? Good to see you. Ibrahim Azam. What's up, everybody? Melissa 2087 says, I usually go every year to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but sick with the stomach virus. That's no fun. Well, I hope you feel better, so at least you can enjoy your Thanksgiving tomorrow. So Melissa, definitely, please get well soon, please. Nicholas Persad is here. What's up, Nicholas? Hope you and your family are well. I remember you were telling everybody you just welcomed a new baby into the world. So wishing you a lot of blessings to our pal Nicholas Persad. So this is where the main broadcasting will be going down tomorrow. Penelope says, you've been saying cyber since... That's funny. Yeah, but Penelope, this is something we talk about a lot, right? And I think it's very good and important to pay attention to it from a career standpoint as well. Because if you go into a career in cybersecurity, maybe you are a software engineer or in cybersecurity sales, I think you're always going to have employment prospects. You're always going to have very good job opportunities within the cybersecurity space. So if you want to think about a company like Fortinet or Palo Alto Networks, Okta, Ping Identity, CrowdStrike, or Zscaler, these are extremely, extremely good cybersecurity companies that I think you'll probably have a very good chance of getting a job there. Hey, I see NYC Cherry Group says, hey Tom, my turkey arrived frozen a day late, but nevertheless on time for serving. That's awesome, Cherry Groove. That's awesome, man. So happy Thanksgiving to you, NYC Cherry Groove, another great moderator of the stream. Sweet Country Living says, so glad I found this channel. Hey, thank you for saying that. We appreciate it. And we hope to see you on future streams. So for anybody that's new, we usually stream 5 days a week between New York City and Miami, and we have a different topic every night. Tonight's topic, we were talking about inflation a little bit, but we mainly have our topics around investing as well as tech. So I currently work in the tech space, so we talk about tech sales jobs, enterprise software sales, and we also talk about career prospects in investment banking. Oliver John says, greetings from Hartford, Connecticut. What's up, Oliver John? Good to see you. Penelope says, I know, should have gone into that world. Penelope, how is everything in Tennessee? Good? Hope everything's going well in Tennessee. Charlie Richardson says, ethical hacking and penetration testing are both good as well. I agree. Charlie Richardson, very good observation. Faces, if I were a guy. So we'll see if we can get past these cops without any confrontation yet.
Here we are.
Maybe we should go through Koreatown. Koreatown should be very cool tonight. EBITDA says, Wall Street Skate Bro, hey Tom, can't stay for long. Hope you and the family have a happy Thanksgiving. You as well, EBITDA. You as well, my friend. Hope you had a good day. Hope you have a good day, EBITDA. So EBITDA works in investment banking and mergers and acquisitions at Bank of America. Always very great to have him on the channel, providing great perspective. Our pal EBITDA. EBITDA, we had a very short topic of conversation on tonight's stream. We were talking about inflation and inflation hedging on the stream. Christian says, Natalie Portman, born in Israel, grew up on Long Island. I'm not sure about that. Hey, Elon Musk is here. Says, bro, what's up, Elon Musk? Oliver John says, I grew up in the Bronx. Very cool. Michael says, hello, this is Michael from Guyana. What's up, Michael from Guyana? Pleasure to see you. EBITDA says, what were your references as inflation hedges? So we were talking about the statistically is not an inflation hedge. So if you think about it, for being an inflation hedge, but if you actually look at the statistics to how it's performed up against inflation during the times of high inflation, it's actually been quite poor. Something that's been quite good inflation hedge of recently is just owning equities or owning the S&P 500, because these are companies that are very profitable, that are producing free cash. So if your hurdle rate is, or if the inflation rate is, let's say 6.4%, which is the print of the inflation that we're getting now, if you can have an equity that is performing outsized free cash and is positive on an EBITDA basis, it's better off just to own that than to own gold or even tips. And bonds are even no good during times of inflation. There's been a study that came out that says when rates, or when the 10-year yield is below 2%, a standard 60-40 diversified portfolio is actually not good to have. It's probably better off to actually up your equity exposure when the 10-year treasury yield is below 2%, which it has been for quite some time now. And that's why this week we've been seeing high growth, high beta names actually selling off a little bit, because we had a pretty decent sized move in the 10-year treasury yield from about 1.4% all the way up to 1.7%. And one of the reasons why we see very high beta, high growth names selling off when that 10-year treasury yield increases is because the majority of the earnings of these high growth tech companies are actually priced out in the future. So if you have higher interest rates, the earnings of those companies are actually worth less now, projected into the future. EBITDA says, Wall Street Scaper, I hold almost no fixed income, and the only fixed income that I have exposure to is muni bonds for tax purposes. I have decided to have exposure to crypto / Bitcoin over fixed income. I agree with that, EBITDA. I think that's a very good observation there. DW is here. What's up, DW? Christian says, bonds cannot compete with inflation. You are losing. I agree. Gerald Lee. What's up, Gerald Lee? Hope you're well. Says, the windows are beautiful at Macy's. Diana Lee says, Empire State Building lights are stunning. Mariners fan is here. Says, good evening, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving to you and all my American friends. Just a normal Thursday here in Canada. Well, thank you to all of our Canadian brothers and sisters, our neighbors to the north, for the very warm welcome this Thanksgiving. You guys had your Thanksgiving, I think, in October, didn't you? Harris says, I didn't know Satan was genderless good. Hilarious. Valentina, how are you? Ron says it needs to be snowing a little bit there. I'm not a big fan of the snow, so I'm happy it's not snowing, to be honest. Alvin Reyes says happy Thanksgiving from the Philippines. What's up, everybody from the Philippines? We have a lot of people. When I look at the YouTube analytics, we have a ton of viewers from the Philippines. Shar Steph says, must be a big difference in the temperature between Miami and New York. Yeah, when I got off the plane from Miami, I was freezing, and it was only about 50 degrees in New York, so. Mariners fan says, yes, Canadian Thanksgiving is in October. Very cool. We also have a lot of Canadians viewing the stream, too. The breakdown, I think it's about 60% of the viewers of the channel are from the United States. Everybody else, I think the next top two is Canada, the Philippines, and actually there's 4% of the viewers from Saudi Arabia, which is pretty cool. So what's up, everybody from Saudi Arabia? Good to see you. Raise 3 RP XRP says the hoof. What is going on? Everybody, look who it is. We have Carol H. Carol, good to see you. Carol H says, happy Thanksgiving, Tom, from Puerto Rico. Whoa, what are you doing in Puerto Rico? That's my old apartment building behind you, Herald Square Towers. Yeah, so I think these are the Herald Square Towers, right, Carol? Right here? Snow is overrated, in my opinion. Jonathan Richards says, the Empire State Building looks beautiful tonight. Indeed, it does. Scooter Duders is sending good vibes, as always. Thank you, Scooter. Ron says, New York City. Ibrahim Azam, what's up? Sarah G says, investing can definitely hold up against inflation, specifically stock market. Yeah, I think stocks that tend to generate a lot of free cash, right? So free cash flow is very important in an inflationary environment because you want to hold an asset that produces cash. EBITDA says, anyone out in Saudi Arabia with connections to public investment funds, let's link up. Oh, absolutely. Please hit up EBITDA. Hey, we have photos from around New York. What's up, photos? Carol Williams is watching from beautiful Caribbean island of Antigua and Barbuda. Wow, very cool. Carol Williams, thank you for joining. Falcon 1 says, snow is never overrated. Faith says, more people tonight. What's up, Faith? Carol, what's up? Carol, long time no see. Good to see you. I hope you're well. Angwar says hello. What's up, Angwar? Well, Ibrahim Azam is from California, so I don't think he gets much snow. Photos from around New York says, hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, y tú? Muy bien. Anonymous dude, what's up? So we are now going to walk uptown to Radio City Music Hall, Rockefeller Center. So we will do that as we walk up towards 36th. Sarah G says, they grow with inflation. It's the business increasing prices. So if you buy a share, you buy their profit too. I agree. I definitely agree. So I was actually reading a research report that came from Goldman Sachs this week that says during times of inflation, you want to buy equities or companies that have very, very high pricing power. So for example, if you're a startup company and all of your raw materials that go into your products and services are going up, you're probably going to have a very difficult time passing on that cost to the consumer. However, if you're a very well-established company, you have a very good brand, somebody like Nike, well then you could probably pass on that inflationary cost to your consumer. So let's say if Nike has a 20% profit margin by selling their shoes for $100, but the cost of their raw materials have now gone up 20%, Nike is going to have a very easy time just simply increasing the price of their shoes 20% or even more to actually expand their gross margins. So the Goldman Sachs report that came out said that you should be looking to buy businesses with very, very good and heavy pricing power. Hey, Taz says, what's up from New Jersey? What's up, Taz? Good to see you. EBITDA, read the book, says pricing power is not only good during times of inflation, but also with the supply chain disruption. Very good point. Very good point. Sarah says, very well said. What's up, Sarah G? Good to see you. Lowell Harris says, the radiation children are here. Sarah G says, yes, for sure. Many companies will use this as an excuse to raise their prices higher. Yeah, I mean, if we think about it, the corporations are not the people that are going to take the hit on this. Oh, and so you could actually see the One Vanderbilt building right through this little crack here. So corporations will never be the ones holding the bag, so to speak. If the government and the Federal Reserve is going to create inflation, it's not going to hurt corporate America. I can promise you that. Because the board of directors at all of these large corporations are essentially there to ensure the profit, or basically to, number one, ensure the profitability of the company and ensure the value return to shareholders. So if the raw materials are going up 20%, they're just going to simply pass that cost on to the consumer, which is you and me. So the company in these times either maintains their profit margin or even increases them. So everybody, this is where I ate today. Maine Noodle House. This is, in my opinion, one of the best noodle spots in all of New York City. 1011 6th Avenue, amazing. Very, very highly recommended spot right here on 38th Street, West 38th. This is a phenomenal place. I've eaten here every single day of the week this week. Great place. Sarah G says, yes, USA is built like a business. Indeed. So if you guys like noodles, like bowls of soup and things like that, fantastic right there. That place is extremely, extremely good. Andrea Bryant says, happy Thanksgiving from Somersville, Massachusetts. Love to you. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoy your time with your family. And I appreciate you joining the streams. Sarah G is one of my favorite kinds of foods. The one and only Mighty Bull. This is watching, listening, and learning. Do you like Chinese food? I definitely do like Chinese food. Some of my favorite food is Chinese food. So if anybody, usually I write the Behind the Street newsletter and I post it on my YouTube community page. But now YouTube will no longer allow me to do that because they initiated a character limit. So it only limits me to like 500 or 5,000 characters. So if you would like to sign up to receive an email of my weekly free financial newsletter, if you type !news, MEWS, in the chat, the Nightbot will drop the link to the Behind the Street newsletter, and you will get an email every week with the newsletter where we cover the financial markets from a top-down, bottom-up, systematic assessment of the financial markets. We cover the U.S. equities markets, the credit markets, and the cryptocurrency markets. So we are now standing right outside the Bank of China at Bryant Park, Salesforce Tower, and we're looking directly at the new One Vanderbilt building. Hey, I see Disney cast member. Disney cast member, happy Thanksgiving, Tom and all. Congratulations, Disney, on your house. So Disney cast member is now officially a New Yorker once again. Fellow Long Islander, good to have you back. Valentina says, Tom, you have a lot of viewers. That's awesome. And they are from all over the world. Absolutely. We have a very diverse group of people here on the Wall Street Scape Bros stream. James Dixon says, hey, Tom. What's up, James? Karina Thompson says, happy Thanksgiving to all of my friends. Here, enjoy the day and be thankful for something. Thank you, Karina. I appreciate it. Anonymous Dude 123, what's up? Jonathan Richards says, Tom, I signed up for your newsletter. It's great, very informative. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Out and About says, how many are following you for your newsletter? So we've already have about, I think, over 50 people now signed up, which is kind of crazy. But when I posted it to the community page, we used to have like 300 readers every week. But unfortunately, I'm no longer, well, I guess technically I could post it there, but it's not going to be a complete newsletter. Austin Aspen Network 1 says, hi, my name is Thomas, and I want to say happy Thanksgiving from Frankfort, Indiana. Awesome, Thomas. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. South Beach Trader says, I lived in Glen Cove for 3 years. Nice, South Beach Trader. Glen Cove's a nice little town. So, you know what? Let's cross the street. Let's check out Bryant Park. Let's see if it's still open. Ricardo says, greetings from Canada. Happy Thanksgiving, my American friends. Hey, thank you, Ricardo. Appreciate that. XRP says, I want a brownstone in Brooklyn Heights. Don't we all? MB says, hello, Tom. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody in the stream. Thank you, MB. Photos from around New York says, only a matter of time before News Corp buys out Wall Street Scape Bros Behind the Street newsletter. Could you imagine? I mean, that's the plan. Well, not really. But that would be kind of cool. But the goal with the Behind the Street newsletter is to provide free, high-level financial content. So for people that are just starting out, that don't have access to a lot of resources, behind the street resources, my goal is to try to break down those barriers and provide those insights to help people get an inside look behind Wall Street. Hey, Diana Lee is from the UK. What's up, Diana Lee? Hope you're well. So now we are across the street from Salesforce Tower. Salesforce is a major enterprise software company. CEO is Mark Benioff. Their ticker symbol is CRM. And they are most notable for their customer relationship management software. But they actually made a massive acquisition of Slack. And Slack was a publicly traded company under the ticker symbol WORK. And Slack is like a collaboration tool that competes with the Microsoft Teams. Tom Jones says, we'll be there in December. I come up from Philly, my kids come down from Yukon, and we meet in Penn Station, then go Christmas and Hanukkah shopping. Tom Jones, that's awesome, man. That's awesome, dude. You're gonna have a great time, Tom. Tom Jones, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Hopefully you guys are together. Alex says, did you ever attend seminars or buy programs to learn about finances? I have not. Well, the only thing I pay for is like a subscription of Investors Business Daily, Wall Street Journal, and Barron's. But I don't go to like a seminar, no. So there's a professor of securities analysis. If you want to know like very deep fundamental analysis, securities analysis, to show you how to do like scrutinize a cash flow statement, how to read a balance sheet, right here at NYU, Stern School of Business, there's a professor. He's known as the Dean of Valuation, Aswad Damodaran. And Damodaran actually puts out a lot of his work for free on YouTube, believe it or not. You could actually watch some of his lectures at NYU for free. And I've watched a lot of lectures from Damodaran. for free on YouTube. I've spent a lot of time building discounted cash flow models just by watching videos on YouTube of that professor from NYU, Damodaran. So if you guys want to check that out, I think Nightbot will drop a link in the chat to Damodaran's YouTube channel, and he's a professor of securities analysis at New York University. Peter Webley says it's 64 degrees in LA. Awesome. Karina Thompson says, are we in Bryant Park? We are in Bryant Park. Davika says, happy Thanksgiving to Tom and everybody. Hope you're enjoying your time in New York City. Thank you so much, Davika. Appreciate it. XRP says Slack messages like the SEC wants to Ripple. I'm not sure what that means. Lisa says the history of red color being used in Christmas from Coca-Cola using red. Matt Green says Cosmo's still here. What's up, Cosmo? Hope you're well. Hey, Network One says, I just subscribed to your newsletter. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hey, everybody, we have Daniel G in the chat. So Daniel G is our good pal from Buenos Aires, Argentina. So Daniel G, the topic for tonight's stream was inflation. So I would be very interested to hear your insights on inflation, because in Argentina, you guys have relatively high inflation as well. And after seeing what happened to the Turkish lira this week, the Turkish lira is going to go to zero. And the central bank there is going to continue quantitative easing. However, they just authorized a rate hike. But there's a lot of, let's just say there's a lot of animosity there. So we were talking about inflation hedging tonight on the stream. Yes, shot by Scott. This is nice catch, Tom. So Scott, I always read the comments first in my head before reading them out loud, because I've been caught a couple times. Sarah G says, I heard that too. MB says, any big plans for tomorrow? Honestly, not really. You know, we'll walk down here. Not really any big plans. I'm just gonna hang out with the family, eat some dinner, hang out. You know, gonna have a good day. Gonna have a really good day. XRP says, I realize you're from Queens. I'm not from Queens. I'm from Long Island, New York, but very close to Queens. Valentina says, in Argentina, the economy is unfortunately going down, 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 and down. I want to leave the country ASAP, says Valentina. Yeah, that's terrible to hear, honestly. Well, hopefully you can come to the United States. We'd love to have you here. You can walk around Bryant Park and hang out. This is a beautiful place. We'd love to have you. So if you have the means to come here, definitely welcome. EBITDA says, what are your thoughts on the Turkish lira? Yeah, so the Turkish lira, I think, has had the steepest decline since 2019. But EBITDA, I think my overall thoughts on fiat currencies is every single fiat currency throughout history has gone to zero. It just depends on how fast it will go to zero, not if, but when. So what we've been seeing is a lot of dollar strength. So other currencies in comparison to the US dollar, I almost said New York dollar. My God. Other currencies in comparison to the US dollar are extremely, extremely weak right now. And that's why we've been seeing this quote unquote flight to safety. So when I say the dollar is strong, I don't mean that the dollar itself is stable, because the dollar has been in structural decline for over the past decade, and that's on its way to zero over time. But relative to all of the other currencies in the world, or global currencies, the US dollar tends to be more stable than, say, a Turkish lira, which essentially is going to zero. So speaking of EBITDA, this is the Bank of America Winter Village. Daniel G says Argentinian peso is devaluating every day, unfortunately. Daniel G says, Tom, inflation has gone really bad here in Argentina. Yeah, that's terrible. William Travis says Bitcoin $1 million. Yeah, I mean, not for nothing, it will probably get there one day. And so my whole thesis on Bitcoin, for those of you who've been watching the streams for a while, is that I actually do think over time Bitcoin will get to that level of $1 million. But you have to understand what that means in relation to the inflationary collapse of the US dollar versus Bitcoin, right? So the value may not be $1 million, but I think denominated in Bitcoin, it'll definitely get there. I think that the US dollar is in a hyperinflationary collapse versus Bitcoin. I think the US dollar is also in a hyperinflationary collapse versus, one share of the S&P 500. But this is beautiful here, guys. I'll show you the Bank of America Tower. Hey, Realty by Lance is good vibes. What's up, Realty by Lance? Alfreds is watching from Arizona. Sarah G says, I feel like USA is strong because of its people. Plus, important people move to the United States all the time. Yeah, so the United States is essentially a brain drain of the world, right? So all the smart people from all over the world come here to start businesses. And one of the reasons for that is because we allow people to come here and have the opportunity to get rich. And so long as that structural integrity of free market capitalism stays intact, the United States will always be the number one place to come to educate yourself, to come to start a better life. So long as the golden goose of capitalism charges on in the United States, innovation will happen here. If anything, honestly, I think you're going to see a massive brain drain starting to come out of China to the United States. And I believe China will actually start to initiate lockdowns on their citizens because of how bad it's going to get. That is just my theory. I'm not saying that's fact. That is just what I'm theorizing. And one of the reasons why I say that is because this past week, we've gotten absolute abysmal earnings reports from Chinese companies like Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, and the like. And one of the reasons for that is because the government has been putting in way too many regulatory scrutiny over these companies. You just look at all of the Chinese education companies, the Chinese online education companies. These were some of the greatest businesses alive. And the Chinese government essentially stepped in and said, hey, you're not allowed to make a profit. You're not allowed to, enrich yourself and make a profit. We are going to take ownership of this company. So anytime you have a great success in China, the government comes in and nationalizes the company. And that's not going to fare well in times when we're going into... Sorry, I'm just distracted. This lady fell. It's not good. I hope she's all right. That's not going to fare well in times of competition for tech in terms of AI, artificial intelligence, and the like. Sarah G says, yeah, that won't work for long. Ibrahim Azam says, Tom, are you against regulations and government intervention? For the most part. Cosmo Scary says, I would live in China. Alexander says, I do think the U.S. should allow more and more Chinese here take their best and brightest. I agree. Jonathan Richards says, sounds like Sammy Davis Jr. Sarah G says, exactly. Plus, the sell of the dream is a moneymaker. Matt Green, how are you? Obama says, what if President Kamala puts 100% tax on stocks for Green New Deal? I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's all noise. MTR says, greetings, Tom. Hey, MTR. What's going on? We are at the Bryant Park Winter Village tonight. Austin Aspen Network 1 says, can you tell Tanner and Tyler Harness that they are cool? You are very cool, guys. Lynchcanthropic Moon Lover says, hey sir, you have a very nice way about you. I enjoy this walk about very much. Hey, thank you, Moon Lover. Appreciate it. William says, actually the most stable currency in the world over the last 4 decades have been the Swiss franc. Says William Foley. You're actually 100% right about that. You're 100% correct. What I mean in terms of stability is that the US dollar is the world's reserve currency.
For your entire visit to the rink.
See, I think that's like a little bit semantics.
Attention skaters. Phones, headphones, cameras, and other electronic devices are not permitted on the ice. To use your device, please step off the ice.
So the rules of the Bryant Park skating rink, and I'm not trying to get too political. If you're skating on the ice, you have to wear a mask. But if you're standing outside of the ice, you don't have to wear a mask. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. But I digress. Sarah G says, it's just the nature of life. That's why it's so important to be kind. I agree. Alexis says, happy Thanksgiving from Mexico. Inflation is worrying, rising here too. Alexis, good to see you and welcome everybody from Mexico. Beautiful country. Kurt Flirt, what's up, Kurt? Hope you're well. We are here at the Bryant Park skating rink. Faith says, I wish I knew how to ice skate. I'm horrible at ice skating too, to be honest. So these are like igloos. I guess you could rent out and hang out in them. Johnny Sorley, how are you? Ken Kramer says, America will always get the world's smartest and talented because of our capitalism. Yeah, and I think we have some of the best universities in the world, right? I mean, if you're a smart student and you're an internationally from another country, you know, you're going to go to school in the United States to go to Harvard, Yale, Cornell, and the like. Hey, Troy 1995 is here. Johnny Sorley says hi. Disney cast member says lots of homes in Phoenix have been purchased by Chinese companies opening computer chip manufacturing plants in Phoenix, says Disney cast member. Always good to have Disney cast member here, fellow Long Islander. So Disney cast member, how's the move been? Are you, I think you said you're driving across the country, so hopefully that's going well. Ibrahim Azam says our universities are great, but they are expensive. Kudos to that, Ibrahim. They are expensive, crazy expensive. And the reason why they're expensive is because the government has been subsidizing all of these student loans. Daniel G says, Tom, I'd like to know from everyone in the chat from different countries how much it costs a Big Mac combo in their country in US dollars. Here it costs around $3, $5 US. I think that's a deal. I think here it's like $12, isn't it? I don't go to McDonald's, but I would love to know what other people think. Hey, LG says, I'm jumping to say happy Thanksgiving, Tom. Beautiful rink. LG, good to see you. Long time no see. RK9 says, are you getting thirsty after all that talking? I honestly don't. So I think that's just because I've been in sales my entire career, so I'm used to talking for a long time. Disney cast member says, Tom, the sale of my home closes 12/22. Well, congratulations. Marilyn Ringle says, I agree with the rule. Saman 3K says, hi man. From my bed in Valencia, Venezuela, enjoying your super walking show. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, man. Hopefully we see you on more live streams in the future. Hopefully you're enjoying, and I appreciate you being here. Everybody, we have the one and only Ken Glass says hi. Thanks for a great stream. You're very informative about buildings in New York and places of interest. Thank you so much, Ken. Good to see you, Ken Glass. Sarah G says, how is tech sales? I really like it a lot. I like tech sales a lot. I think at first it's tough, you know, you have to have the right personality before it, but I think it's a great career for anybody to go into tech sales or enterprise software sales. Nata Santos says, hello people, I'm watching from Brazil. Nata Santos, how are you? Anonymous dude says, Big Mac, I'm not sure in Canada, I would assume $3 to $4. Tom Jones says, inflation is super high in the UK now. I have friends in London, Manchester. Petrol prices are rising. Worried about Boris shutting down the country for any jump in new COVID cases. Pat Waters says, that's cheap for a Big Mac combo. I just checked here in Florida, it's $12. Annie PZ says, Bryant Park looks absolutely perfect and magical. Thank you, Annie PZ. Valentina says, there's a lot of people. The city never sleeps, even though it's freezing. I know. Riggs says, is this Bryant Park? It is. Sarah G says, I used to work in tech and have a bachelor's in computer science. That's awesome. Yaz says, thought Bryant Park rink closes at 10 p.m. Large Big Mac meal here is $9.25 converted to US dollars, but our Big Mac is probably a small size. RK9 says, I'm building a computer, but I'm not finding the motivation and willpower to finish it. Do you have any suggestions to complete it? Sometimes you just got to power through and suck it up. You know, you got to do it. Usually in life, the things that you don't want to do are the things that you have to do. So anytime I don't want to do something, I automatically force myself to do that. Because as humans, you know, I was actually taking a psychology class in college. And I think that was the only class that I enjoyed a lot. And in the psychology book, it says that humans are not meant to thrive. We're not. Humans are built for survival. We are animals. We're animalistic in nature. And animals are not built to thrive. They're just built to survive, just get by. So your human mind will tell you not to do something if there's even the slightest bit of adversity, because it's easier to just sit on the couch in or sit in your nice warm bed and not wake up early and go to work, because that is our instinctive human nature and our defense mechanism telling us just to get by and survive. It's actually normal. If you're not wired like that, you're actually abnormal, and you're probably actually have sociopathic tendencies. So it's actually good news that you're experiencing that you don't want to do it. It's actually normal. But the thing is, you just got to do it. You just got to power through. There's a lot of things that I don't want to do that I do every day. It's just you have to brute force yourself to do it. Sarah G says, I have a psych minor as well. Very cool. Fun to listen. Cosmo Scary says, deep stuff, Tom. DN says, forget the Big Mac. The best is the $1 slice of pizza. I agree. Shot by Scott says, I'm going to make that a meme. Power through and suck it up. That's hilarious. I mean, it's true. I mean, there's no tricks to the trade. You just got to power through and hammer it out. All right, everybody, we are going to exit Bryant Park and we are going to head up and out and take a walk near Radio City Music Hall. Juan says, thanks for the advice. Greetings from Colombia. What's up, everybody from Colombia? Welcome to all of our Colombian viewers. So we'll exit Bryant Park. It was very fun. Love Bryant Park. Beautiful place. Hey, we have Robert Muhammad. What's up, Robert Muhammad? Good to see you, my friend. This is Wall Street Skate Bro. Good evening, Tom. Good to see you tonight. Likewise, Muhammad. Always a pleasure, Robert. MTR says, New York City is the greatest city in the USA. I am privileged to have grown up there. I can get behind that. I agree with that. It is the greatest city on earth. Lisa says, what is the hardest thing you have to do daily? Prospecting for new business. I would say prospecting for new business, calling customers, dealing with problems, things like that. I remember when I first started in tech sales, I remember the phone weighed like 1,000 pounds. That's like a metaphor. The phone weighed like 1,000 pounds. I didn't want to call anybody. It's laborious and it's terrible. But once you start to get traction, it's sort of like second nature. So this is the Bank of America Tower right across the street from Bryant Park. Greetings from Chile. Welcome everybody from Chile. We are next to all the little NYPD cars. Juan says, that is why people love Americans. Sometimes we do what we don't want to do, but we do it because if we don't, someone else will. Smarts is good, but grit is the key to succeed in America. I agree, Juan. I agree with that 100%. For example, I mean, I've had relatives. I wouldn't say I'm like very, very successful person, but I've had relative success in my life, and I'm not a smart person at all. Not smart person at all, but I will. It's like sickening the amount of work ethic that I have. I'll do things because I just do it. I just train my mind just to do it. You know, I'll work 100 hours a week. I don't care. Because I think that's what gives you an advantage, right? If you're not a smart person, if you're not inherently gifted smart, you're going to have to work 10 times harder than everybody else. But the city is beautiful this time of year, guys. This is my favorite time of year in the city. Well, actually, second favorite time. I really do like the summer. The summer is beautiful in New York. I think the summer is the greatest time to visit New York City. But that's just because I like warm weather. Cosmo Scary says September is my favorite time with good weather and San Gennaro. You know, that's actually a good point, Cosmo. September is very, very nice. Jonathan Richards says prospecting for new business is tough. Tom, you must be very tenacious. Yeah, and it's a little bit demoralizing at times. You get down on yourself a little bit. DN says to succeed, stay positive, don't take criticism personally. Learn how to get along with everyone and realize that you can learn something new from anyone. DN, take a screenshot of that and put it up on your wall. Phenomenal, DN. It's very good. You're right. Mr. Alom says, I'm a warm weather person. 2, spring and summer in New York City is awesome. I agree. Dark OP, what's up, Dark OP? Says, one day I was dumb, so I buy it as smart. Photos from around New York says daylight savings. Yeah, that is true. The daylight savings time. Jim says, any comments on stress control? So, when I first started work, I used to be so stressed out, like so strung out, like it was crazy. To where when I would go to sleep, I would actually grind my teeth in my sleep, and I never noticed it. But the one thing that I could say is if you're working at a job and you're stressed out, you just always have to remind yourself. And which really worked for me is I always reminded myself that in 5 years, I'm never going to remember this moment in my life. Like, you're going to look back in 5 years and you'll be like, why the heck was I stressed out about that? It was like so negligible in my life. So anytime you're going through like a rough patch of crazy stress at work, or if a customer's rushing you, just be like, look, in 5 years, I'm going to look back and I'm like, I shouldn't have rushed for that customer. I shouldn't have done that. Like, you know, things will get done. Take your time. It's going to be fine. So speaking of work, I used to work right in this building right here, 1166 Avenue of the Americas. This was my office right here in the Marsh & McLennan building. Worked here for many years. Yeah, I remember I would be working on like a big deal and I would have to get a deal book together. And there may have been like, not like very egregious typos, but maybe like 1 or 2 typos here and there in the deal book. And my manager would be freaking out and then stressing me out. I'm like, look, in 5 years, I'm going to look back on this deal and nobody's even going to remember that the meeting ever took place. So it's like, you just relax. It's fine. It's no big deal. Obama says that Amazon, you will get fired. Jonathan Richards says meditation is good for stress. MTR says don't stress the little stuff. It's all the little stuff. Eve M says God bless you. What's up, Eve M? Sarah G says, yeah, I used to remind myself that it's not that big of a deal. I agree. Jim says true. What's up, Jim? Ben Jem says San Gennaro. I think we're going to run into a lot of pedestrian traffic up here. Miss Ortega says happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
It's in the barn.
Hey, our new pal Jim says, I like you already. Solve the problems, but by the time you're used to feel uncertain, thanks for the advice. Jim, good to have you here. Anonymous dude, I agree with Anonymous dude's comment. All right, one little tip about if you're in New York, never stand still outside of a McDonald's. Keep it moving outside of a McDonald's. If you're walking past the McDonald's, keep it moving. So on the left, we have News Corp, and News Corp is a company that owns Fox News, Wall Street Journal, Barron's, and now Investors Business Daily. So Rupert Murdoch's company bought out William J. O'Neill. And William J. O'Neill is the founder and creator of Investors Business Daily. And he just sold to News Corp for $250 million. So not a bad payday for those guys over at Investors Business Daily. Pretty good. Eve M. What's up, Eve M? Jetstar says all your stress ended when you were retired. Carol H says you've got the best attitude. Thank you, Carol. So I think the best piece of life advice ever that I've ever gotten was always stay optimistic. Once you turn into a pessimist, you've lost the game. It's over. It's done. It's lights out. You better, if you're a pessimist, you might as well just punch out and sit on the sidelines. I've never met a successful pessimist. If you're always complaining and down on yourself and you're not, if you think everything sucks, everything's miserable, no one's going to want to be around you, right? So you always got to stay optimistic for yourself. And I think that'll improve your mental health. So even if you have to fake it, even if you just have to force yourself to stay optimistic, You got to do it. It's so important. You just literally have to use brute force to keep yourself optimistic. You have to. It's imperative. So we're coming up on Radio City Music Hall. Wow, everybody, look at the line for Adele's Famous. So Adele's Famous is the best halal place in New York City, by far. MTR says get a dirty water dog. I would never buy a hot dog in this city at a cart, ever in my life. I just don't trust it, MTR. What about you? Hey, Paul. What's up, Paul? Yeah, the Amazon stores, you don't even have to go through the checkout anymore. You just take it and you get out of here. Very, very interesting. MTR says, I want to go to the Christmas Spectacular Radio City. MTR, I'm going to go this year. To the Rockettes, I'm going to go. I went 3 years ago. Buy the book says, I wouldn't eat a hot dog from there either, Tom. Juan says, in LA, we grill and put onions on them. Very cool, Juan. I didn't know that. So in LA, you put onions on the hot dogs. You grill them and put onions on the hot dogs. Very cool. Lydia is here, says, Tom, you need to be more optimistic about the New York City card. That's so true. I need to be a little bit more bullish on the New York City hot dogs. I'm just afraid I'm gonna get some freak disease. I'm afraid I'm gonna get some like tetanus or something like that. Ibrahim Azam says, be right back. I have to check on the laundry. No problem, Ibrahim. Hey, I see Melee here. Pat Waters says, I only eat a hot dog from Coney Island. Yeah, that's probably the only thing I would eat too. I just wouldn't eat it from these carts. So I'll tell you guys a little funny story. So when I was playing, I played a soccer here for a college that's actually up here, John Jay. And we had a practice very late at night at DeWitt Clinton Park on the west side of Manhattan. And when we were walking back from practice, I think it was around like 52nd Street on the West End. We were walking past, what do you call it? A big warehouse, right? So I'm looking in the warehouse with my friend, and this is the place where they store all of those food carts at night. And everybody was taking hoses and washing down these food carts. And the amount of rats that was in that warehouse on Manhattan's west side, where they store all of these hot dog carts, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable the amount of rats that were running around in that place. And every night when these guys pack up their stuff, that's where they put their carts. So all the rats are probably festering in there. So not to creep anybody out, but there's a place on the west side of Manhattan in Hell's Kitchen where they store all of those little street cart guys. It was disgusting. And me and my buddies, because I think it was my freshman year of college, and when you're a freshman on any athletics team, they make you carry all the water and the soccer balls back to the school. And it was horrible. It was a horrible sight. Jerry says rats are our friends. This is a kind of cool little thing here. Very cool. So we're gonna see the ice skating rink. Ice skating rink at Rockefeller Center. Miguel Gonzalez, what's going on? Tanya Reed says, well, no more card francs. What's up, Tanya? Eve M, good to see you, Eve. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Alan Wilson is here. What's up, Alan? Juan says, thank God I'm in LA. All we have is dogs stealing my hot dog. So you know what? I've never been to LA, but I would really like to go. Everybody, check it out. This is the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree right here. So the lights aren't up yet. They have to do that lighting ceremony. So if you want to follow Wall Street Skate Bro, or if you have a Twitter, Wall Street SaaS Bro, where I post mainly like financial research and stuff like that. So directly ahead is where you have the Saks Fifth Avenue. And in my opinion, this is the greatest light display in the city. And if anybody in the chat has not checked out our pal Super Friends in the City Fernando's channel, you gotta check him out. Great guy. Fernando's a good friend of mine. Very positive human being, very good, kind-hearted guy. The greatest of all time. I know he loves me when I say that. So this is the top of the One Vanderbilt. Alexander, thank you for the 200 Russian ruble. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, Fernando loves it when I say greatest of all time. So this is the Saks Fifth Avenue, which is like a very upscale clothing store. And this is looking downtown, headed southbound. Sarah G says, you think there is a market for crypto news? I do think so. CoinDesk is a very big media outlet for them. Estelle says, bye for now, Tom. Take care. Hey, Estelle. Thank you for joining. Estelle is from Australia. Thank you for joining, Estelle. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good night. Hey everybody, we have the one and only Sunshine New York. It's so good to see you in the city, Tom. Sunshine New York, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you have a good one. So we just passed the Radio City Music Hall and the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Penelope's like, he loves you 10 times a day, me only 3 times. Hilarious. So we'll show you guys one more view of the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center, and then we will head uptown. Friendship Lights, is great to see you, Tom. Much love and lights going out to you. Friendship, thank you. Always a pleasure to see you, Friendship Lights. Disney cast members says GOAT, greatest of all time. Fernando, indeed. I'm gonna have to program that into the Nightbot. !GOAT, GOAT, and it'll drop a link to Fernando's stream. So let's see if the people are ice skating on the rink. Let's see. Yes. Very good book. So this book that I actually just bought, and it was actually recommended to me from an article in Investors Business Daily, The Luckier I Get by Jim Rickards. And he was CEO of Ameritrade. And it was the story of his life about how he founded Ameritrade, which was one of the most successful broker-dealers on Wall Street. So definitely check out that book. And then another book I was reading is AI 2041, which is a book about artificial intelligence and machine learning by Dr. Kai-Fu Lee. And Kai-Fu Lee used to be the president of Google China. Cosmo Scary, this is Tom. When I'm in the city, I feel like you belong here. Manhattan is your habitat. I love this city. I love Manhattan. Appreciate that, Cosmo. Yes, Carol H. If you want to read a free newsletter, a free investing and financial newsletter, Behind the Street, I write it every single week, and you can feel free to check it out with the link in the description. Does anybody know what time it is? I just want to make sure I'm not going to miss my train. So now we are walking past the St. Patrick's Cathedral. Is it really 11:20? Oh man. Wow, where does the time go? Where does the time go, everybody? Hey, Super Friends in the City, says Tom. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Likewise, Super Friends, I appreciate you. Santa Monica Rodriguez, appreciate it. So we have to head back now because I'm going to miss my train. But it's all right, guys, because we're having a good time. Oh my God, we've been streaming for 2.5 hours already. Yikes. See, I always say that. I'm always like, we're going to be streaming for about an hour, 2.5 hours, 3 hours later. It's all right. You know, it's Thanksgiving, guys. We got to do it big, you know? We got to walk around. We got to have good conversations. Sorry for the jumpiness. I'm getting a call. Super Friend says New York City missed you. Fernando, if you're in Miami, let me know. Let me know the next time you're in Miami. Kobe Bryant says happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Appreciate that. Buy the books as time flies when you're having fun. Absolutely. So Disney cast member, I was actually looking around for Ed Potke. Ed is a viewer from Corning, New York. I haven't seen him in a while. So I told Ed, I'm like, hey, you got to contact Disney cast member. She's going to be moving near your neck of the woods. Ruby Falcone says such a great time. Thank you, Tom. Ruby, thank you for everything. I appreciate it. Lydia says, are you making any food for tomorrow? I probably won't be making anything personally, but my mother usually cooks. She's a very, very good cook. Rosemary says, hi everyone, happy Thanksgiving. What's up, Rosemary? DW says, thanks, Tom, good walk. Have a good Thanksgiving. So I guess we'll do it like old times. We'll stream until the phone gives out because I have to walk back to the Moynihan train station anyway. RK Travel Sports says, hey guys, happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate that. So I think I can actually, get what's it called? A train at 11:50. I think that's my next train is at 11:50. Oh, everybody, I was going to ask, how is the stream quality tonight? Because I did make a few changes. So I'm just wondering if the quality of the stream is good tonight. Bruce Wayne, what's up, Bruce Wayne? Just take that plane, hilarious. Shot by Scott to super clean. Rosemary says it's good. First time watching, I just subscribed. Hey, Rosemary. Well, welcome to the stream. It's a blessing to have you here. Hola, ¿cómo estás? But everybody, so for this Thanksgiving, I'm very thankful for all of you, because the viewers are what make the stream what it is. It's not me. You know, I could sit up here and just talk to myself for hours, but if it wasn't for the viewers, you know, we wouldn't have good conversation. So I really do appreciate everybody, and I'm very thankful for all of you. So enjoy your Thanksgiving. Morgan, I did not know that. That's hilarious. So in terms of Christmas lights, I think this is my favorite color. These sort of bluish white lights. They're very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so Kobe Bryant, you're right, the Thanksgiving Day parade is tomorrow. I'm probably not going to be in the city for that, but I'm sure there'll be tons of people that'll be able to, you know, show you guys the parade. Yeah, Jim, you're right. It gives it kind of like a snowy effect. It's pretty cool. It's not bad. DJ says, nice stream tonight. Just subbed. Hey, thank you, DJ. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Disney cast member. It's going to be even more beautiful in the snow. So true. Shot by Scott says, we are all Wall Street Skate Bro family. Absolutely. There's a storm coming tomorrow. Is there really? I didn't know that. Jonathan says, we're all thankful for you too, Tom, and your positive streams. Appreciate that, Jonathan. So I think I'll make it downtown in time for the train. The train's at 11:57. Disney cast member says, Tom, will you come to build a new fence in my house? Maybe. Maybe we will. So Disney cast member, I didn't get any permits. I don't know if I told you. So that small little fence that I sent you the picture of on the left side of the house, it's like very makeshift. It's not very sturdy. And I just didn't get any permits for it. So, and I think I live in a very secluded subsection of the neighborhood that nobody's ever really going to check. But you know the drill. I mean, you know, you're a Long Islander, so every little thing you do to your house, you need a permit for this, permit for that. So I'm so used to getting a permit for everything. Photos from around New York says tomorrow partly sunny, showers after 1 a.m. So does that mean it's gonna start raining in an hour? Hey, Joyce says, you're the best, Tom. Great stream tonight. Thank you, Joyce. Troy 1995 says, I want to be a Long Islander. Very cool. Eve M says, you have 30 minutes for the train. Okay, we'll make it. I think we'll make it. Ibrahim Azam says, I have to go now. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Ibrahim, if I don't see you, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Thank you for being a great moderator. Ibrahim Azam. I think we're gonna cross the street and we'll walk down 6th Avenue. See, it's easier during the days where I had the skateboard. We would just crush around the entire city. But this is the New York Public Library. It's actually called the Stephen Schwarzman Building. And Stephen Schwarzman made all his money on Wall Street by leverage buyouts, or LBOs. MTR says, are you catching the Long Island Railroad? Indeed I am. Indeed I am. Jim says buy what? LBOs. So an LBO is a leverage buyout. We'll talk about that a little bit more on another stream. Oh, but guys, the gimbal actually went out of battery. So we're actually gonna have to end the stream even sooner than planned. But anyway, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I wish you nothing but the best. Make sure to take some time off and have a good one. And good night to the mighty bull, wherever you are, because there's always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And I appreciate, once again, everybody on the stream. Appreciate you guys tuning in all year, and appreciate all the viewers. So have a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and be happy, be healthy, and enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.